It's jpeg2RAW, show number 97, recorded on November 5th. Tim, 97. We are just 3 shows away from 100, and I have confirmed today, as long as nothing goes wrong, today, show number 100 will be December 10th, and our guest will be, we'll have some other things going on, but we're going to have one of the people who was a guest on show number 1, which was audio only, so you have no idea what she looks like. We're gonna have Jenny come back on. She's not big into photography. You know, show number 1. The original thought with jpeg2RAW was going to be a beginner show, and we're going to talk about things like exposure and what is an f-stop and all those kind of things. So Jenny and Kristen, who are my guests for show number 1, were perfect for that. And so we're going to have Jenny come back on. She won't be there for the whole hour, but we'll talk to her a little bit as a little bit of reminiscing, and then we'll go over whatever else we're going to go over. It won't be an hour-long reminiscing show. But it is a big milestone to hit number 100.
What was the date of the first show? That was
oh dear God, you asked me that, and I should
like
know that
August
stuff.
of 2010 or July of 2010?
I think it was like 20. I don't think it was 2010.
Was it 2011?
I think it was 2011. I think it was like June or July of 2011.
Yeah, because I think my first show with obviously the 4th show was around late August probably, or maybe early September.
Okay, and the reason, if you're doing the math, we're November 5th. We're on 97. How's number 100 going to be December 10th? We are taking 2 weeks off. Where's the video? 2 weeks off for Thanksgiving, which is a U.S. holiday. I know we have people all over the world. Thanksgiving, and then we'll also, after that show, after December 10th, we'll have December 17th, and then we take 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's holidays, because that falls Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve is what our show would fall. So we have a lot of breaks in between there. Hopefully I'm going to get a lot of work done on the behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on with jpeg2RAW. That I need to start the broadcast here on this thing. The behind-the-scenes stuff, which is, the thing we use to stream, the computers, all that kind of stuff. These breaks give me a chance to work on that kind of stuff. So I think the voting for in the Facebook group for the October challenge is up to this Friday, right? Up to this Friday, go out to the Facebook group and vote on whichever one you like, up to 5 of them. And the topic for October was self-portraits. Jeannie Kessler came up with that. And if you have an entry in there and you haven't voted, you can vote up to 5 of them. Then the topic for November is vintage, which I think a lot of people have been excited about that. With vintage, and we've got some great entries for October too. That's going to be a hard one to pick a winner. We're also giving away, if you remember a few weeks back, maybe a month or so ago, when we had Chris Todd from Flern on, we got the Photoshop 101 or whatever it was, something like that.
Right.
And we're going to give that away. Go in our Facebook group, and we have a post that's right now pinned to the top, and tell you how you can go about getting in that list, to be picked for that. So that, I haven't looked at it obviously because I bought it. I think it'd be wrong if I looked at it and then gave it to somebody else, because I think that's not the way it's supposed to work.
No, I don't think that's the way.
It looked like it was, from what I saw on the preview on the site, it looked like it would be very interesting. So, and it's real easy to enter, real easy to win. All you got to do is reply to that post and you're entered. To enter more than once, what you have to do is every time you use our link, our affiliate link in November, you just post in there, I use your affiliate link, and for Amazon, I should say, and then you're entered again. So you can enter every time you go and use that link.
Right.
Yep. Okay, so that's kind of the business of everything I can think of. We'll hold some of the other business to the end, because I know Brian needs to jump out at some point in here, so I want to get straight to him. Brian is a member of our Facebook group who's been posting some fantastic images in there. And how long have you been a member of the group, Brian?
Gosh, I think I joined early this summer.
Okay.
It was, I'm fairly new.
Yeah. I knew it hadn't been too long, and I'm horrible with names. If you listen to the show, I know I mess up everybody's name. How do you pronounce your last name?
Cuasito.
Okay. Tell me to say that.
Cuasito.
There you go.
Tim doesn't mess up the names. It's just me.
Don't ask me how to spell it though.
Well, fortunately, Facebook spells it for us. But you have an interesting job. You work for, I don't know what your job is, but you work for an interesting company. And out in California, I think is where you live.
Yeah, I'm in LA.
Okay, in LA. And you had an opportunity to do something last night that I think all of us dream that we would love to do. It just sounds like, and looking at your photos, it just makes me want to do it even more. I don't know if it's as glamorous as what we all envision, but the photos were fantastic, and it makes all of us want to go out there and do it. And all of us very jealous of what you got to do, and your results are fantastic. Can you tell us a little bit about what you did last night or yesterday?
So last night was the Thor premiere or the premiere for Thor: Dark World. It was on Hollywood and Highland over at the El Capitan Theater. It's right next to where Jimmy Kimmel does his show. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what typically happens is that the studios will shut down that whole street, and that's where they would do the red carpet, and they'd have fans in the back and the infamous press line. I was there as part of the photo pit. It was my first time for something at this scale. I've done some of the smaller one. I did a Spartacus maybe about 5-6 months ago, and I used to do a couple of the Long Beach Grand Prix, which is a racing event,
Okay.
a couple of years back. So last time was a little bit different. I have to admit, going in, I was really scared. Didn't know what to expect. I kind of came in all starry-eyed and get all excited because it's the big blockbuster. I mean,
Yeah.
Holy crap, it's Thor.
We can't wait to go see that movie, by the way.
Oh yeah, it looks exciting. But it's like, even from the very beginning, I was already the nerves were already kind of getting to me. I took several wrong turns, even though I've been to that place hundreds of times before. Somehow managed to get lost last night. Went into the press line, got all checked in, and went through the wrong side of the the press area. So I guess they had sectioned it off for photographers and video broadcasts. So I spent the first 10-15 minutes just walking up and down the video broadcast section looking for my name, trying to figure out where I'm supposed to stand. And I'm looking at the tags. It's like E Entertainment. It's like Fox TV. It's like, something's not right here. I can't be anywhere near this at all. So that took a little sorting too. And then once I finally figured out where I was supposed to go, headed down, and I just see this monstrous pit of photographers. I mean, by monstrous, I don't mean the size of the space was big, because I think maybe it's 20 feet by 8 feet, and there was just maybe about 3 or 4 rows of photographers stacked on top of each other, maybe about 50 of them there. So it was kind of interesting. I remember staring there thinking, what the hell did I get myself into? I was already about 15-20 minutes late, so I'm cramming up in the back. I've got 3 photographers to the left, 3 on the right, and they're just gears are swinging left and right. Got hit in the side of the face with a 70-200 at one point. It was very interesting, and it's I want to say it's a different breed of photographers. It's definitely not the friendly type. Mm-hmm. I mean, these guys, you hear stories of the paparazzis and stuff like that, how vicious they can be and whatnot. I mean, I'm sure there's some nice people out there, but once the red carpet opened up, oh my God, it was pandemonium. They were screaming at each other and screaming at the celebrities, telling them, look left, look right, up here, down here, big smile, over the shoulders, this and that. And then when they opened up the actual premiere for the guests to come in and watch, they had formed a line behind where the celebrities would be walking in. And that just got brutal. They were starting yelling at the guests, trying to get out of the way, get out of the way. Because I guess they didn't want the celebrities to have fans or whatnot in the background. They just wanted the step and repeat and all the signage.
They just
And
wanted,
it was definitely interesting.
they wanted isolation. Now, were you shooting this for somebody or just? I mean, are your photos being used somewhere? Or was just for you?
This was my first one, so this one was just mainly for me. I just wanted to test it out, see what that world is like.
Yeah.
And I had a friend that works over at Disney that does all the press communications, and she was able to help me out. So it's like, take advantage, learn something, experience it, and see if it's something that I like or not. And
How did you like it?
I think I need maybe about 2 more to really decide if.
Hey, there's a
it's
guy from
something
The
I
Walking
want to
Dead. I don't know if you're watching the live thing on our webpage, but I just see one of the guys from The Walking Dead just came up. I guess I don't know
pretty
all
alive to me.
I don't know all the characters. I know the main characters, but there's a lot of people in this I didn't realize were in the show as I'm looking at your photos. Anyway, so was it difficult getting, if there's only like 50 or whatever, however many you said photographers who were there? How did you become one of the 50?
Well, you know what they say in Hollywood, it's like, it's all about who you know.
Yeah.
And it really was just that. Like, I knew the person that was running all the photographers. I called in a favor, and she let me in.
Wow.
So I was there next to, I think I had like 2 guys from Getty Images next to me, and then a couple of foreign press people on the other side. It's definitely intimidating being, surrounded by the big boys.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty cool. Like, they weren't too harsh on me, but yeah.
Well, did they know you were an amateur at this point compared to them?
I spoke to one of them. He asked, like who I was and who I was shooting for. I told him it's my first time in, and I'm still just kind of getting it through. And I think that quickly turned them off, and they just kind of went around their business. But I think I stood out because I was one of the only ones that looked like I was unprepared.
Now, what were you shooting with?
I have a Canon 5D Mark III. Originally started with a 24-70,
Okay.
and just the way I was positioned, I was behind 3 rows of other photographers without a stool, which didn't know I needed one. So I had to switch over to a 7200 and had to get really creative how to get the shots.
Now
And then
go ahead.
I guess, like, I don't know if you guys looked through a lot of the step and repeat photos. They're not the most artsy type. It's very clean, very clear, almost. I want to say, I think on average they have to shoot like at least f/16 because everything is just sharp all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
And which I can understand what the for the purpose of it all, but to me that just wasn't an option, and I just thought, okay, I need to be a little bit more creative because I'm not getting through this wall. So I just need to peek through, find the little holes, and use my 7200 and just shoot through and make it kind of cool. That's why you'll see in a lot of the pictures, especially the one on the website now on Facebook, you'll see kind of the blurry images that kind of go around.
Yeah.
That's actually like people's armpits, and
I was figuring that's what that probably was.
And it was I tried framing it so that it would actually look cool and consistent all the way through. Like, I knew this wasn't going to be sold to any magazines and stuff like that. So I figured, okay, might as well just have a little fun with it and do something different.
Now, the lighting in these look really good. Are you using a flash at all, or is it just really well lit there?
God, they had maybe 50 or 60 RE lights just lined up down the street.
Yeah.
Separating maybe about 2 or 3 feet apart. So the place is just really, really well lit.
So nobody was really using flashes?
Oh, well, everyone was using flashes except me. Again,
no stool, no flash.
Didn't really know. I'm assuming even with all those lights, I was still shooting at maybe 800 ISO. Okay. So for them to be able to have 800 ISO, maybe 4 or 5. So for them to be able to shoot anything above like f11, they'd have to use their flash.
Yeah. No, the images are great. So,
thanks.
So you had fun. Were you going to do it again?
I've got another one lined up for Frozen for I think it's Pixar that's coming out.
Right, the new Disney movie.
So I'll be at that one and probably the next two Disney or DreamWorks films. I'll try to get into that just to see if this is kind of where I want to venture on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at that stage where I'm just trying everything.
Yeah.
Doing some weddings, doing regular portraits, boudoirs, just trying it all, just try to see which clicks, which doesn't, and what I should start pursuing.
Now, you said some of the photographers were yelling at the what do you call them, the stars, and telling them, look here, look there, do this and that. Did you interact with any of them and say, get into the moment and say, look over here?
I tried. I honestly don't think they heard me though. I mean, I would imagine, like being one of the celebrities walking down in the span of maybe 20 feet, you've got 50 people yelling at you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if to them it's just all noise.
Right.
Yeah.
No matter what they were saying, they weren't really doing anything.
It's sort of like I don't have this experience, but I know like when I'm at a soccer game and the parents are yelling at their kid, and mom or dad, doesn't matter, you're yelling at your kid, and the kid they cannot hear a word you're saying. It's just a roar that they hear out on the field, right. And everybody's voices is just blended together in one giant roar, and that might be what it is for these stars. Plus, they've done this before.
Oh yeah. It's actually kind of funny that you can kind of tell who's done this before and who are the new ones at this.
Yeah.
Like you would think the bigger celebrities would be the camera hogs, and they'd be, staying there for all the length of time. But I found that it was actually all the new guys. Was the cast of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was there.
Okay.
There's some tie into it, but most of them were fairly new. I think I was the only one that's been on the circuit on a regular basis. But these guys, they were on the carpet for maybe about 10, 20 minutes, and then they came back again at the very end, just trying to get as much of the exposure time as possible, I suppose. Mm-hmm. When you look at the other hand, you look at the Hemsworth brothers, they were there all of 2 or 3 minutes. They just walked by, did their normal routine. I think it's like, 3 steps, look left, look right, smile. 3 steps, look left, look right, smile, and then continue through.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Who is your favorite out of the whole group to shoot? Or do you have a favorite?
Oh, God. The new one is Jamie Alexander. She's... I forgot the name of the character she played. She was in the other one as well. She's one of the Asgard warriors.
Oh, yeah. What is she wearing? What is she wearing as a photo cycle through? Do you remember what she was wearing in your shot?
Oh God, yes. It's the.
Is it the one that kind of goes down her stomach, or you can see the stomach? Okay.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And I remember she was the first one that came out, and it was kind of funny. You could just see all the photographers shift from resting mode to popping up, and you see all these lenses just swing to the right as she was walking down. Everyone was just screaming, and I couldn't figure out why until she walked towards our spot, and then you just see this beautiful woman in this stunning dress, and it was just cool.
Yeah.
That was the dress that was cut straight down the middle, pretty much?
Yeah, it's going to come up here in a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that one before. I was like, wow.
Yeah. And you look at some of the other, the real press people that took the photo, it's front and the back.
Okay.
I was talking to my wife, who runs these types of things for another studio, and she pretty much explained to me that the only reason why she wore this dress is because she knows every single one of these photographers are going to take the picture, and it's just going to spread through every single publication.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so that's how, the business side of it really works out. They walk down, they get the really sharp images to get the signage in the background to put placement and, sponsorship. I don't know if you can tell in some of my photos, you'll have Skype logo, you'll have the theatrical logo, and Harley Davidson, which was the sponsor. So all of their products are exposed through these photos are getting spread out, globally.
Yeah.
And I was right. Her photos were actually one of the first ones that came out I think it's a UK press and a few others, maybe about 3-4 hours after the premiere.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else was out, just her. Like, oh,
Yeah, I mean, in a crowd like this, you got to find ways to stand out. I mean,
Right.
exactly.
yeah. I noticed. I didn't see any of Natalie Portman there.
She skipped it. I honestly, I was really disappointed. She's
Yeah.
one of the people that, I've always wanted to see in person. Be great to be able to photograph her, but we were there maybe about an hour and a half, and she just didn't show up. I don't know if she's indisposed or at a different junket or whatnot.
Some other.
I thought it was kind of interesting.
I like Hawkeye too. I think that's his character, isn't it? Hawkeye or
Jeremy Renner?
Yeah, the new Jason Bourne.
Yeah. He was kind of cool. It was
the image.
It's surprising seeing these guys in real life interacting with the photographers, because to me it seemed like they knew a lot of them by name. They knew who they were, had some history. It's like, wow, these guys must have done this for years to be able to form that kind of a nice relationship or this acknowledgement with the celebrities.
Yeah, I'd imagine that some of those guys have been doing this for a while and they follow these guys around
Mm-hmm.
and go to as many events of these as you can.
Yeah.
So was there public there too, outside of the stars and the photographers? Was there like a general public that were further back or something?
Yeah. So on towards the back end, so all of the press line was on one side of the street. And on the complete other side was just the normal fans that you would have on Hollywood and Highland. So they put up a big barricade, and God, there had to be thousands of them just screaming and screaming at the fans. Every time a camera guy would swing the video cam on them, they'd be screaming. I don't know if it was staged or coached up, but they were pretty excited. So that's usually how we could tell when a bigger celebrity was walking down the carpet or coming out of a limo, because the fans would just go absolutely nuts.
So how long did the whole thing last?
Let's see. Check-in was at 5:30. I think press walk started at 6. The movie was supposed to start around 7, so maybe an hour and a half.
Okay.
So I think the movie started a little bit late because there were still people walking down, and I left maybe around 7:30, and there were still people doing video interviews and stuff like that.
Okay. Hold on a second while I look something up. Tim, do you have any questions while I look something up?
No, not at this point. I mean, that's got to be exciting. I can't even imagine the pressure around there with some of these people that know they have to get the pictures. At least you didn't have that at the point, so it's a good learning experience, as you put it. Things you learn that you can say, well, I need this next time.
Yeah.
Really is what you need to work on.
I think that's definitely the big takeaway from last night was, going forward, this is what I need to do, what I need to bring, and, once I get, a handle on being prepared for something like this, then I can decide, is this something I really want to do or not?
Right.
Based on last night, I probably wouldn't, but I want to give it a proper fair chance to see if it's worth doing.
Yep.
So what do you normally shoot then?
Right now, I shoot a lot of babies.
A lot of
I've been
babies.
doing a lot of family portraits and stuff like that. Just opened up a studio not too far from where I am, and just been doing family things just to test out the whole studio life. I mean, prior to that, it was just all weddings and outdoor photography. So now, slowly evolving, again, trying something out, see if it works out or not, and if it does, cool. If not, move on.
Now, you used to have a day job, though, right?
Yes. I left Paramount Pictures maybe about a year ago to really test out photography.
Okay. All right. So your goal is to make a living from photography, then?
I think it'd be a fun living to have.
Yeah. Well, you have the photos I've seen you post on Facebook and these here. You definitely have the talent.
Oh,
So
thanks.
really wish you luck with that. We love, and you know, tonight we're supposed to have Mike Oblinsky on, and what is trouble for us, but I actually can't fuss about it because I like it, is Mike had to cancel because he had a paid shoot tonight. And, you know, we don't pay guests to come on the show. So I completely understand and will never be upset with somebody that they couldn't make the show because they had another gig come up. Now, as much notice as you can give me, the better. And Mike gave me notice, but you know that's fabulous. I love hearing that he's got a shoot and or whoever else that they're making a living from this great, you know, which is just a hobby of mine and Tim's too. But I love hearing that other people are making a living at it. So we really wish you luck with that. Well, Brian, it was awesome going through these photos, and I'm so glad. Brian did come in at the last minute. I think I gave him less than an hour's notice to come in here. And have you done a hangout before?
No, I've actually gone. I've seen 2 of them, but it was always the recorded one.
Okay.
I've never actually had a chance to sit through any of the live stuff just because. This whole 3-hour time difference thing just kind of messes with me.
No, and I don't mean our show, just any kind of Google Hangout. Have you ever been in a hangout like we are here right here talking?
I've done one with just a few of the photographers when this first came out. It was really choppy, and half the time we had like animated icons on our faces. We're just kind of messing around. It's kind of cool though.
It is. They're changing it almost too often because it screws up with how I capture the screen and everything. So even tonight, it's kind of messing up with some of the things we're capturing. But you know, that's one of the things with Google. They try and innovate as fast as they can. So you know, and usually for the better. Well, you know, we really appreciate you being a member of the group too and posting these things out there.
No problem.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the next set will be a little bit better and. We'll see if we go from there.
Well, let me. I need to do another while we're sitting here, and we can continue to talk. I need to invite Seth one more time just to make sure he got it. I don't know if he's going to come in or not, but maybe we can just go on to the next topic. And you know, I'll still play your photos here if anybody had any questions. And if anybody had any questions for Brian as we move on to something else, you know, post them out in chat, and I'll get them to him. Jeannie did ask. And maybe this you can decide whether you want to answer this or not. What did you do for Paramount?
I was in their brand marketing group. I worked with the DVD sales.
Okay.
So when you see something at Best Buy from Paramount, that was me.
Okay. All right. So there you go, Jeannie. No doubt about the talent, she also says.
Thank you.
Okay, so did either one of you guys see out in the Facebook group the post about the new Nikon DF? I know you shoot Canon.
Yeah, I saw something briefly on it.
You shoot Canon, Brian, right?
Yeah.
And I know, Tim, you shoot
Sony.
So I saw it. I don't know if anybody out there in chat saw it, and there was a question about whether this would be something that, you know, anybody would be wanting to, you know, anybody would buy this camera. And because what it is, let me tell you what it is. It's you know, a Nikon, but it looks like an old Nikon film camera. It's made to have that retro look. You know, the dials on top look like that old, you know, retro look of the
right.
of
The
those
knurled
dials.
button dials.
Yeah. And you know, I think it costs like $2,500 is what it cost.
I think I saw it was like 27 something.
Oh, 2,700? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, the look is cool, and if it was cheap, I would buy it. But every time I look at something like this, I really do. Anytime I buy a new camera gear, I look at what else could I get for that money. If I'm going to spend $2,700, like you just mentioned, holy crap, I can get some nice glass for that. You know, I need another wide angle. I'd love to have like an 85-1.4. I can probably get an 85-1.4 and the wide angle I want for less than that camera. So in the end, I can't see any reason why I'd ever buy this. And I think this is going to have a limited market to people who want that nostalgia throwback look. On the tech side, it is a 16 megapixel camera that does 25,000 ISO. So the technical specs may be okay. It also does not have video.
Right, I saw that.
Yeah.
It is one of the, I think, only 2 of the current, you know, models that are out there. Not the past ones, but only one of the 2 that don't have video. And I think they intentionally did not put video in it because they're saying this is a retro throwback.
Mm-hmm.
Retro throwback with a very expensive price.
I was looking at it earlier today, and I know it could just be me, but it seems like it's not a very practical camera.
Yeah.
I mean, I've used, I think it's like the Canon A1 in the past with the dials and knobs on the top. Like, at least for, the stuff that I shoot, like weddings or whatnot, I can't be fussing around with the dials. Like, too many of them.
I can see somebody, some from the film side wanting to buy this, but I can't. You're going and looking at a camera like this. It is full frame, but you're going and looking at a camera like this. What else would be your choice? And I can't see a Canon or a Sony person wanting this. This is, you're not going to bring somebody over from Canon or Sony to go buy this. More than likely, there's going to be a Nikon through and through person. Somebody who's had Nikons all their life, and they go, "Ooh, that reminds me of a Nikon F3 or something like that," and I want to get that. And but even with those people, you got to make that same choice. Do I get this, or do I get the D600 or D800 or D7000, whatever it is that's out there, or do I get glass?
Yeah.
Melissa says this is cool looking, and I'm not even totally certain this is. My first camera didn't look like this. I think my first camera was a Maxim 7, so mine was already more modern looking than this. This reminds me of what my father had with his Canon A1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to. In one sense, I'm gonna have to agree with her. I would not. I'm saying all this, I wouldn't buy it, but the more I look at it, the more cool I think it does look. Still, even as I think it looks more cool, I'm still even more and more convinced I would never buy it.
Right.
Yeah. I saw I think it's the black and silver. I gotta admit, that thing's sexy as all hell, but yeah, like just the practicality of it, and Nikon versus Canon aside, to me it's overkill for something that it's not practical.
Yeah.
Again, looks cool.
And Melissa says photo prop. Well, I think you can get a fake camera that looks like this, use it as a photo prop, and probably spend $50 versus $2,700. The dials, again, they're probably not practical like you said, but they look kind of cool. And I'm looking though now. I don't know if you can see this, Brian. You'd have to be looking on the our website.
It looks like the dial of the ISO right there.
Yeah, and we have one viewer out on YouTube watching. If you go over to jpeg2RAW.com/live is where you can see what we're actually streaming, all of this in our chat room. So if you're watching on YouTube or Google Plus, go over to jpeg2RAW.com/live. The little LED readout on top, man, that is just crazy small. I mean, you get no data there.
Yeah.
But it tells you how many pictures you can still take. That's about it.
That's about it. But gosh, as I'm looking around this, and Melissa, I don't know if you're still watching all this, but actually it does look super. It does look cool.
So no, that looks like the ISO on the left with the with your compensation. So what was on the right dial then?
You mean to go back? Okay, let me go back. Let me go
The
back.
left
to the
dial,
left.
the left dial looked like it had the ISO.
Yeah, I would. The which dial? The right dial?
No, the left dial had the ISO with the exposure compensation on top of it. So now I don't know what was on the right dial.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the.
Isn't the right dial shutter?
You know
what? You're right. That was probably shutter speed.
Yeah.
It is because I think it has a max shutter of 4,000.
You know, I have to go back. I think my first camera did have my first film camera had dials obviously like this. Yeah, that's probably shutter speed over there.
Isn't that crazy to be able to do that there?
So you got PSAM switch.
And look at the top. So looking at the top right now, I think that's a screw. And I don't know if y'all can't see my mouse very well, but that center of the 3 buttons on top.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a screw around.
It's got a screw for like a remote.
That's the old school shutter.
Yeah,
for pressure shutter.
Shutter release.
Yeah, and then you got manual aperture, shutter and program.
So now I'm gonna guess the under the shutter speed is the aperture setting. Then that little dial because it looks like there's got numbers at the front of the camera as well. Now that does make sense.
Yeah, I don't know what those are. So okay, you want to go and look at the other side, and this is the bottom has got to be the ISO.
Yeah.
And then the top is the exposure compensation. And you can barely see it. It's out of focus a little bit, but on the left front, it looks like there's the bracket button.
Oh, is that what that is?
That's what I'm thinking. It's BKT. I don't have
Yeah.
my other camera here handy. Melissa says, it'd be scary to use it for a job.
I don't know. I remember when I went from my my film camera to the digital, it was so easy to find everything, and then now I don't know if I can go back to this again. I
think you'd get used to it.
Yeah, it's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah, and then on the back you have the standard stuff. That's all
Seth out there says he'd use it. Says it's 2,500.
Oh, okay.
What is Seth doing out there? He's supposed to be in here. Yeah, Melissa, this is digital. Yeah, this is a throwback. It's a 16 megapixel camera in a throwback body.
Says you got to go into a Google Plus page. Is probably in there. It's a whole new page.
Oh, and I think it also shoots. Here he comes. It also shoots some of the really old lenses. Now, Ryan, you were saying you like the black and silver one better, and I think I do too. But here's the all black one.
Yeah, I like the black. If I was going to do this, I'd go with the black and silver. Even though that looks pretty good right there, I think the black and silver looks old.
I guess that's the last thing.
You know, people. Somebody would hire you for a wedding. Say you're going to take my pictures with that.
So, if you're wondering where am I at at dpreview.com, which is a great source.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, they had some other specs on this. Seth, how are you doing? Thank you for coming in.
I'm doing well. I am doing well. I am loving life. I'm fighting a little bit of a headache, but it's been a little busy. Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Brian, nice to see you.
Likewise, man.
Look at the front of the camera. That does look awesome. So, Melissa, when you buy one, you need to do us a review on this. Melissa has...
so that DF, it looks so cool.
Melissa has said she's going to buy one and write up a review for the jpeg2RAW page.
Please.
I think she needs to do the whole unboxing and
she does.
Do the whole 9 yards.
It's got to be a good unboxing video, though. I've seen so many bad ones that are just like, wasting my life.
So 16 megapixels, I think I mentioned that. ISO up to 25,000, I think it is.
So now, what is the size of this compared to, let's say, a modern Nikon? It looks smaller.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
It does.
They don't have side by side that I saw. I think it's 5.5 frames per second. So you're not going to use this for sports. Maximum shutter speed is 1/4000, which it's okay. I mean, it's
nothing to write home about.
Going back to the size of it, do you guys remember seeing the teaser video they came up with a few days ago?
Yep.
There were about 4 of them. There was a little series of this guy walking around and
Yeah.
I can't show those or I get kicked off.
It was it's definitely one of the smaller size cameras. Like I don't think it's anything like the big ones where they look like the big battery pack in the bottom. It looks more like a Rebel size to me, just the way he's holding it.
Except it's a $2,500 Rebel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's made by Nikon, so there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let me see. Melissa said, but she's a Canon girl, so I guess she would want to get it. But see, you don't have to be. I think those loyalties are going to start to dissolve. I actually, for no real reason, because I'm not a sponsor. I mean, sponsored or anything. I like Canon. I just do. But I would get something from another brand that I think is cool and useful, and I'll still wear a Canon T-shirt while I'm doing it.
Yeah, I think the problem for most people though, Seth, is the
lenses.
The lenses, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think this has a different lens mount anyway, doesn't it?
I think it's still a Nikon F mount.
No, yeah, it said you
Really?
can use.
Really?
Nikon is committed to the F mount. They've stayed with that for a long time, which is a big benefit.
I thought I heard that F mount was actually changing. No?
I haven't heard that. I mean, to give
Let
up
me-
on
let me-
on the F mount would be a big deal.
Yeah, that would be a little
Oh,
bit.
that would piss so many people off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. 50th anniversary of the F mounts, 2009. Okay. No, I guess they're probably going to keep that. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, Sony's been at it too new, so their mount it doesn't have that history of Nikon, and Canon has switched the mount. It's a big deal.
Yeah,
to
in
switch-
like the 80s, right?
yeah, it's a big deal to switch the mount.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
That would be a cause for people to possibly switch brands then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please tell me you guys saw that late to the party video that I posted.
Yes.
You didn't watch it. Did you see it?
Yeah, I think I saw
think
that.
I did. Yes.
I saw the posting. Haven't had a chance to view it yet.
Well, you know, Seth, I know you had something that you were doing before this, but you missed, and we'll have the post in the show notes, and they're on our Facebook group. Brian's photos he took at the Thor premiere. Fantastic.
Oh man, yeah, I gotta check that out. Well, that's what podcasts are for. I'll check out the aftermath.
And I need
Very
to
cool.
change the lower third of the text here. Now that I got both you guys in here. That says Seth White. Okay, keep going.
Gotcha.
All right, Seth, you had a couple of things you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of free resources, you know, for photographers, stuff like lynda.com and Creative Live. I saw an awesome Creative Live yesterday. And I don't know how much you guys maybe listen to Creative Live or not,
No.
but whether you're pursuing business or you just want to grow as a photographer, there's all kinds of great, you know, free information and resources that you can use. Yeah, and I don't know how many Mike say I know that you're on Google Plus, but I don't know how many other people that listen to jpeg2RAW are on Google Plus. I think it's kind of mixed because it's still fairly new.
Yeah, you know, we don't get near the response from Google Plus. You know, so we had Nicole Young, who has almost 2 million followers on Google Plus. 2 million.
Wow.
So they're
Wow.
really, really big. She came on here. She had posted on Google Plus. She's going to be on the show. You know, she did what she needed to do. You know, I can only ask so much. She had no one of her followers come on here to watch the show. However, we have somebody like Rachel Brinke who posts on Facebook that she's coming on, and we get a flood of people.
Right.
So
Well, Facebook is still the monster,
Yeah.
right? I mean, as much as people say they're leaving Facebook, Facebook still has how many people, right?
Yeah. The response rate from Facebook for us, if I say we're going live on Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter, I don't have near the Twitter followers, but on Google Plus we have almost 7,000, and on Facebook we have less than that on Facebook. But if I put that out, I can watch where they come from on the web page, and it is, you know, a 10-to-1 ratio of Facebook versus Google Plus. So it's just not there. But there's a lot to love about Google Plus. I wouldn't have all that said. You know, Hangouts like what we're doing right now, Facebook doesn't have anything to compete with it. And I would rather have a Hangout than a Skype conversation. The Hangouts are much more reliable.
Right.
And,
When we were doing Skype a year and a half ago, we had plenty of issues with it.
and while
Really?
they change stuff and screwed me up like tonight, they're doing it for the good, and it just gets better and better. The Hangouts do so, and the photos. I think photos display better on Google Plus.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, yeah, I do think that their algorithm. I love saying the word algorithm. I don't know why. I think their algorithm for compression. I think it's a better quality. I don't know what mojo they put on it, but I think it looks better. But also, you remember when we were talking about Nick Software and Snapseed and how they just kind of ate them up? Well, you know, Snapseed is free on Google on that Google Plus platform. So you upload a picture, you could tweak it on the spot, and I think I heard some recent news that they have unlimited data now. You can upload as many pictures as you want, and nobody cares.
Well, you know, I have a Google phone. I mean, an Android phone. It's a Samsung Galaxy S3. So as I take photos with it, they're automatically uploaded to a couple places. One, to my Dropbox, but also to Google Plus. And
Correct.
Google Plus does something that they do this all on their own called Auto Awesome. It's not always awesome, but they.
Yeah, I've seen it. I have that too. 'Cause I have the
Yeah.
app.
So I got a little message back. One Auto Awesome's been added, and I'm always interested. What did they do? So I go out there. I go out
And
there.
you said that's not awesome at all.
No, but sometimes what they do. So I took a photo of at work. I took a photo of a lady who didn't want me to take a photo of her. It was a appropriate photo. She doesn't like to be her photo being taken of. So I took a bunch of photos of her real fast. Just click, 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 click. And she's putting up something in front of her face to block me. Well, it saw all of those images that were taken really fast together and of basically the same subject, and it blended them into a GIF file.
Ah,
And
Really?
actually, and then an email. I didn't even know it. I didn't think anything of it. Took the photo, put the phone away, and a little bit later, I got a message saying one Auto Awesome's been added. Auto Awesome. So I go out there and see that image, and that one was awesome. I did forward that on to her.
So not only did she not want a picture, now she has an animated GIF.
yes.
We're
Or GIF.
we're
I always
good.
said GIF, but whatever.
We're
Gifts
good.
coming back from the 90s.
Yeah, we're good friends. So it was
Yeah.
all in fun.
You
And
were
you know,
good. You were
isn't-
good friends.
You were good friends. Isn't
What?
Google Plus and like Tumblr the only places you can really see those now?
I don't know. GIFs? Or what do you
Yeah,
call them?
I know Facebook disabled them, but that was because of MySpace, I think.
Yeah, they can't get out of
Yeah.
they can't get out of control. So
It can get a little crazy.
yeah.
But free resources, free
Someone
resources.
post that link, please, Jeannie. I don't know what link you're talking about.
Maybe for the camera.
So going back to Creative Live, I think a lot of their shows that
Yeah.
are live are during the day, and I generally am at work, and I can't. The only thing I can do during the day is sometimes at lunch I can jump on Facebook and catch
Yeah.
up with our page and do that a little bit, but I can't watch a video. And then I think if you want to watch them afterwards, you need to subscribe or you have to buy them basically, right?
A lot
Yeah,
of times
with
they
it-
actually replay the broadcast
Okay.
throughout the week. I'm a big follower of Creative Live. I've
Mhm.
bought several of their products,
Mhm.
and I have to say, even when you do pay, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
And they range from like 49 to 100 bucks, so it's not too bad, and it's
Yeah,
a lot of content.
Yeah, and I was watching one yesterday. It was some kind of a it was a whole bunch of, I forgot the lady's name. I did a Google Plus post on it so that I could remember. But anyways, she did like a 30 days.
Oh. Sue Bryce.
You saw?
Sue
No,
Bryce.
not, it wasn't Sue Bryce. Although I really like Sue Bryce. Sue Bryce is
okay.
great. No, it was someone else. It was like Linda something, and this was just yesterday, like during the day.
Okay.
I had to head out to something. They're still doing it, but hers right now is $99 if you order it within the next like 30 days. Then it goes up to $150. But again, just like you said, it's a lot of content, and it's really worth it. They give free downloads. Well, not free because you're obviously paying for it, but they have downloads to go with it. But as far as the free portion, if you don't want to buy, sometimes you can catch them. Maybe you can catch it on a lunch break, or maybe they do have something that's later on. You just have to plan it out because they have a schedule on their website.
Yeah.
So-
we need to try and get somebody from there on the show to talk about it. One of the things I've talked about before is when we had Flern on, if we have somebody from Creative Live,
Learn.
I do not feel competitive at all with those. I'm never going to compete with those two guys. They're doing this for a living. Our show, since we're not after a profit, it puts us in a position where I never feel in competition with any of those people. So I feel like promoting them is something that maybe some other podcasts who's doing this for money might not want to do. For us, I don't mind at all. It's all what can we do to help out photographers. So I'd love to
Yeah.
get somebody from there. Who's the guy behind it? Is it Chase Jarvis or? I remember.
Well, he was, and Brian, you might know more information about this too. But they got kind of bought out. I don't know the intricacies of it.
Yeah,
But
I think right now it's just a full-on standalone company.
yeah.
I knew it was started off by a photographer, but
I thought Chase started it and he just got an influx of cash recently, but I didn't know that he dropped out with that. I thought he was still there.
Yeah, I think he may have moved on. I'm not sure. I think he might have some other projects, but it's a little bit of speculation because I don't know all the facts behind it.
Okay.
But as far as that money thing, like you said, yeah, there was some money in a company that came in, and from what I'm perceiving, I think they just kind of took it over, and that maybe he moved on.
Yeah, and you know
So
they have a fantastic studio, and they bring in some of the biggest names. I'm sure they're paying these
yes,
guys. Um,
yeah,
you know, these guys aren't coming in. They're not getting Sue Bryce and some of the other people for free.
Fro
Um,
was on there.
yeah, Fro was on
Jared
there.
Cole,
Rachel
yeah,
Brinke was on there, and
Rachel, yeah.
you mentioned some of these. So Fro, who's Jared Poland, and Rachel Brinke, who have been guests on the show. Rachel 5 times. I was looking for. Hey, you know
It's
what I'd
about
like?
time for another one.
You know, I was looking. Well, she can come on anytime she wants. She's like our resident anytime she wants to come on. But I was
Yeah.
looking at, you know, and I know, Brian, that you said you need to leave at some point. So anytime you're welcome to stay with us, but I don't want you to feel like you're committed.
Oh, no, I'm just waiting for my wife to return.
Okay. I was looking
Ah.
to do a post on our Facebook page every week between now and Christmas, highlighting one of our guests, our past guests, and what something they had for sale somewhere as a way of saying, it's two things here. One, us get a little bit of affiliate money, but also the point, hey, look, Rachel Brinke has this for sale, Jared Poland has this for sale, all these, and I thought, well, I probably ought to wait until we get to December because I'm only going to find 3 or 4 things. When I started looking, it's like I think I've waited too long. We have more than 8 weeks worth of stuff out there. Rachel has something. Fro knows photo. Who's Jared Poland has something.
Yeah, he's got a few things.
Nicole. This is the only things that I can find on Amazon. So I think
Okay.
I only found one for him. Nicole Young has multiple things out there. Michael Clark has multiple things out there. Remember Michael Clark, who was the adventure sports guy.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah,
to say
yeah.
to say the least.
To
Yeah.
say the least. Extreme adventure sports.
And
guy.
then a number of other people have stuff out there. So I was really amazed at the people we had on the show and what they have out there on Amazon. But I'll look at trying to find out who is behind Creative Lab and see if we can get somebody from there to come on.
Yeah. You have to get Linda. I don't know her last name, but Linda something. You from lynda.com?
Yep.
Google that. Linda
Google that.
something.
I'm sure her name is Linda.
And talking and you're talking about Google. The guy I think who runs, I don't know what his title is, but I think he's in charge of Google Images, and that's Brian. I'm going to say his last name bad. It's Nicole Young. It's Nicole Young's husband. Brian. Starts with an M. I don't know what it is. Maybe somebody can figure that out for me. He was with On One Software. He was the lead guy, one of the lead guys at On One Software. And that's whenever Nicole was on, we gave away some On One Software because he was with them. He's now moved over to Google in charge of their Google photo community or whatever it is. And he is a fantastic photographer in his own right.
Matthias.
Matthias, yeah.
Matthias.
I don't know. I'm guessing too.
Yeah. So
Matthias.
That's what I'm looking at.
if you look at some of his images, are just he's more of a landscape and a cityscape kind of guy, just great, really good. But so it'd be interesting to talk to him about both his own photography, but also what he's doing
Yeah.
for Google. He might be more willing to share the stuff about Google than he would be his own photography. So I need to.
We need someone on. He's got to bring some Google Glass with him, and he's got to talk about that too, because that would be just too cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that thing to come out. Like, I remember seeing it here and there, but I want to see that thing go live because I'm just curious to see how many people would actually be walking around with those things on their heads.
Yeah, I think the FBI is using it right now, and they have all of them. So we got to give it a little bit of time for them to get their use out.
Yeah. So you're wanting to talk about things for photographers.
Yeah, those.
So Creative Live, lynda.com. Scott Kelby has a lot of great stuff.
Right.
He's kind of they're all in that same category kind of where we're doing that kind of stuff. Scott Kelby, lynda.com, and Creative Live, and I guess Flern is starting to do some of that stuff too in that sector. Is there anybody else?
500 or so videos as far as training stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Adorama, has which you have the link through with jpeg2RAW.
We don't need
They have
more.
a ton of. Okay,
They
well,
kicked us out. They kicked us. They kicked us out because Georgia changed their laws for sales tax.
oh
So
yeah,
they had
yeah,
to
yeah.
drop us. They did send me an email last 2 days ago and said that Illinois, I think Illinois,
Yeah,
changed.
I'm in Illinois.
They
I'm in
recently
the
had
St. Louis
Supreme.
area, but on the
They
Illinois side.
recently had a Supreme Court ruling that said that internet sales tax, whatever the law is that governs that, stops
Hmm.
the nexus that they. We're getting some tax law here, but there's a tax law in your state and in my state that said
Hmm.
because I was an affiliate of a company in another state, I had to pay sales tax. So they had to collect sales tax on those sales or something like that.
Hmm.
So what Adorama
Yeah.
did was just say, forget it. We're not going to do business with those people in that state. So as a customer, you can still buy stuff from them, but
Amazon too.
I can't as an affiliate. No, fortunately, Amazon has not dropped us. That would be bad.
That would be
Yeah,
detrimental.
well, Amazon
Well,
Amazon
I
wouldn't
pay
let me
tax on all
sign
my
on.
I pay tax on all my Amazon purchases.
Really?
Yeah, that for about easily a year and a half now, maybe 2.
Same here.
Wow. Okay.
they,
Remind me not to
they
move to where
caved
you
here.
guys live.
Yeah, New York and California. Yeah,
Yep.
the trendsetters.
Yeah.
And I think that's all part of Amazon's bid to have same-day delivery. So they're going to have warehouses in every state ultimately.
Yeah.
But I think that ruling, the Supreme Court ruling in your state says overturn that. So if I lived in your state, Adorama would now come back and let me be an affiliate. And they're saying,
Huh.
hey, this is looking good. We just want to keep you aware of it, and hopefully Georgia will be have the same thing happen there, and you'll be able to come back as an affiliate. So,
Yeah.
but who knows when that'll be. Here in Texas, we pay sales tax on Amazon.
And so does
Says.
Ginny, she says. So yeah, I think that's going to be everywhere. Ultimately,
Yeah.
I think that's going to get changed. The laws. I mean, you think about the amount of money that they would generate in revenue. I can't believe they haven't pushed that through already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what other resources? I had those 4. Did I say 4? I said 3. I said
You
Creative
really only
Live.
said 2, and I came up with Scott Kelby.
No. Okay, so the other one that I was gonna say I touched on, but I didn't come back to, is that through the acquisition of Nick Software, they've incorporated Google has incorporated Snapseed into its upload process. You can upload. You can do a lot of edits that look actually really good. They have some proprietary stuff that they do, like their little clarity, or they have some different stuff, but some very fun, very good stuff that you can pump out some good quality photos. So I mean, just things like that, and places that you can learn. Oh, that's right. I was gonna say Adorama, or Adab something. They have a lot of great training videos on YouTube if you follow them.
Yeah.
They do, and there's one lady there that who does one of the shows. I can't remember the name of the show. They have a bunch of shows. Adorama. I didn't realize they had all these shows, but they had this one
a
show,
lot.
and I was going to try and get her on the show, but now I can't remember her name. She's on our list.
Was it Tabitha something?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay. There's a gosh, yeah, now I forgot it. It's contagious, I guess.
So I got
there's a something with Tammy. I think it's Tammy or Tabitha. I don't know.
I need to change this. Hold on. I've got
yeah.
This is Scott Kelby, KelbyTraining.com. That's one of the places we talked about where you can go here, and I don't know what their pricing is and all that kind of stuff, but they have lots of stuff. Then we have lynda.com, and that's LYNDA.com. And then the other one was Creative Live.
Mm-hmm. LYNDA.
Have any of you guys bought something from any of these 3?
I bought a bunch from Creative Live.
Okay. And how?
I am about to buy something from Creative Live.
What was your thought, Brian, on the stuff from Creative Live?
I liked it, and it's what I was originally concerned about, because most of the Creative Live stuff, it's 6-7 hours.
Wow.
And 2 or 3 days worth usually.
Mm-hmm.
I was afraid that it's going to be this giant long stream, but what's kind of neat is that they actually break it down to, I guess, chapters per se. So you could watch it all at your different pace. I got the one with Jasmine Star from a while back about second shooter photographers for weddings, and they broke it all down. They had a checklist of stuff, and their PowerPoint presentation was on there. So it's very complete. It's like sitting through like an online class.
Did you have, with the one that you downloaded, that you purchased, did they send or allow you to download materials as well, something to follow along with?
Yeah, so like when I sign on to the site, look at my courses, and I can download all of the videos individually, so I can watch it away from the computer. And they also have like their second shooter checklist. They would have PowerPoint presentations that that they were using, so you could watch through and either follow along the printout or have the actual resources that they're talking about like in your hand.
Okay, very cool. Okay. Tamara Lackey is the person I think that we're both talking about.
That's it. Yep.
Redefined is the name of her show.
Yep.
And they've got about 3 or 4 weekly ones. They've got Gavin Hoey. His is entertaining. And they have a couple other people too, but they've got a lot of good stuff. And Mark Wallace, he's the main guy that
Oh yeah, I love watching that one.
Yeah, Mark Wallace has some good stuff. I forgot. There's an older gentleman. What is his name? I don't know. There's an older gentleman that wears glasses, and he is a very good teacher. Joe McNally, I think, is his name.
Joe McNally, yeah.
He's a good teacher. He's got some really good stuff too. So anyway, yeah, there are a lot of people that always in the group. It seems like kind of an ongoing thing. People are talking about off-camera flash and remotes and things like that. Adorama really tackles that stuff.
So if you're somebody first getting into photography, there's a lot of free resources, and some of these places that we're talking about, Flern, Scott Kelby, Creative Live, and Lynda.com, they may have some free stuff there too. I know Flern has some. So there's a lot of free stuff.
Lynda has a lot of free stuff.
There's a lot of free stuff you get there, and that'll take you a ways. That'll get you, a ways in your progression as a photographer. But then eventually, you're going to want to get a little more deep into some stuff. You're going to want to learn a little bit more.
Invest in yourself.
Yeah, like if you're wanting to become a newborn photographer, or a wedding photographer, or whatever it is, all these places have something. You want to, like you just said, invest in yourself. You spend all this money on software and hardware, and training. Part of the cost of doing business is the training.
Training.
You think about any profession. If you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're an accountant, if you're into IT, or just about any field, there's some kind of continuing education you need to do. And these type of places offer that kind of thing for photographers. And you can pick and choose, like a college course, but where you only have to you can be real fine-tuned. I want to learn about newborns. And you can go and watch that newborn show. Yeah. And
through PPA too, and I'm sure the other organizations, I don't know about the other ones for sure, but I know about my own. With PPA, they have their own classes, and you can get certified in certain things. So there are a lot of opportunities out there if you're looking for them and you're really ready to take the next step, so to speak, if that's what you desire. But I mean, if you go ahead.
I'll go after all of these guys and see who we can get on first.
Yeah, get someone from PPA, because I would love to be on that one.
PPA, what is PPA?
Professional Photographers of America. It sounds like something my son would say right now, because we're still training. Which I'm so tired of getting peed on. But anyway, I'm talking about my son. Wait a minute.
Part of being a dad, Seth. I know I've been there. I have 2 boys.
My son never did
up in
that.
A puddle and like, oh my goodness, what's wrong?
My son never did that.
We should save some of that for the after show. And speaking of that,
man,
we're past the hour, so let me go ahead and start wrapping us up, and then we can continue a little bit of that conversation there. You have to be here on the after show to get this. So I mentioned the first part of the show. You come into our Facebook group at Facebook.com/groups/jpeg2RAW. You can enter our monthly photo contest. We just finished up October. We're now this week wrapping up the voting on that, and we'll have a winner next week. For this month, the challenge is vintage. So if you got a vintage photo that you want to enter, make sure to get that in there. You got to be a member of our group to enter. And then that's for November. For December, we're doing the same thing we did last year. Your best photo of the year. No topic, whatever topic you want. And just your best photo of the year can be taken anywhere in the calendar year of 2013. The winner will get a $100 Amazon gift card, whatever those things are, instead of the normal $25. So $100. And then we're going to do something for the second place and third place person too. I don't know exactly what that is. We need to see how much Amazon money we have come in. Which takes me to topic number 2, is we have a link at the top of our Facebook group right now. That is we're giving away a video from Flern. And all you got to do is you can just respond to that post and just say, hey, enter me in the contest. That's one way to get in. But the purpose of this is to hopefully get you to use our Amazon link, which is easy to remember, jpeg2raw.com/Amazon. You enter that in, it takes you right to Amazon, but with our affiliate link, and then you go buy whatever you want to buy. Could be diapers, Sess. Or it could be chainsaws. It looks like Sess just
what's
locked
that?
up.
It froze up.
Yeah, you just froze up for me. You're not even moving.
I've got some kind of really bad reception. I'm going to have to check it out later.
Okay. So it could be diapers for Sess, or it could be...
yeah, there we go. Diapers.
Yeah.
Diapers. There we go. Yes.
Or it could
He
be...
said for Sess, though, not for your son.
Yeah, I'm imagining he's going to buy them for his son. Diapers for Sess, or chainsaws for Tim, or maybe some elbow pads for Brian when he's in the pit.
Yeah.
Jackie needs a chainsaw, apparently.
Yeah, my husband is a logger. Yeah, okay, so get a chainsaw for him. So, using that link, every time you buy something using that link during the month of November, just go back to that post and say, hey, I just used the JPEG2RAW link. If you want to share what you bought, that's fine. Just don't overshare. If you bought something that's personal that we don't want to know about, don't overshare. So every time you do that, you'll be entered again, and then at the end of the month, we'll give that away. If you missed the live show and you want to catch us later on, if you're out on YouTube and you're watching us there and you missed most of this, if you watch from YouTube, you miss all the photos that we're showing during the show. But if you missed that, then you come out into YouTube. We have it on YouTube, the recorded version. We have it on Stitcher Radio. We have it on Spreaker now, which is another audio-only place. We have it on TiVo. We have it on iTunes, Zune, BlackBerry, and I'm sure there's some other places. So if you are looking for our show and can't find it in the place that you're looking, let me know, and I'll work on trying to get it there. Tim, our YouTube subscribers are now almost up to 1,100.
I don't know, Jim, did you hear that? I know you're out there.
Woo, YouTube. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's competition. That's mean.
It's not competition.
Friendly competition.
Don't mess with Jim. Jim's cool.
Jim is cool. If you were looking for a tech show, Jim Collison, who is really one of the big guys that got me started in podcasting, he has a great tech show called it's over on his Average Guy podcast. I'd better look it up.
Home Tech Podcast.
Home Tech Podcast.
Home Tech.
And you'll see I have it here as a favorite link. Yeah, the Average Guy blog and podcast network, but it's Home Tech is what I listen to every Thursday nights.
Right.
Over there. So you go over there and you listen to it. And he does a great job of
at theaverageguy.tv as he's posting.
Yeah, and he's had some great guests.
Oh, he's in the he's out there.
He's out there,
Yes.
yes. So he and I had a little bit of challenge with YouTube, and we do a good job of pushing each other, trying to improve, because there's a lot of work that goes behind these things, and he and I are often bouncing ideas off each other to help each other improve. So again, if you're looking for the show somewhere and you can't find us, let me know, and we'll work on getting it out there. But we're just about everywhere right now, even on TiVo. Like I said, who else is on TiVo? Which I thought that was a big deal. Oh, I should look at my notes and see if there's anything I'm forgetting. The forums. I'm still posting out there all by myself. I posted something about the giveaway.
Should I sing? All by myself.
I'm going to keep posting all by myself, and maybe someday somebody will come out there and join me. If for nothing else, if you really don't want to go to the forums, because I think everybody is so comfortable just staying in Facebook, and I understand that. I like Facebook too. You at least come over to the forums and go to the calendar, and then you can see what we have coming up. And we have Zach Prez coming up next week, and I'll be posting more about that soon. We are taking a break for Thanksgiving. The 2 weeks around Thanksgiving, we're taking a break. And then the guy who's going to be on tonight, Mike Oblinsky, will be next month, December 3rd. He'll be coming on. And I just booked for December 10th, show number 100. And the numbering there is a little bit off. That's really Mike Oblinsky's number 99. Show number 100 will be December 10th, and a special guest from show number 1 will be returning for part of that show. So make sure
show number 1.
From show number 1, back when we were audio only. She will be coming back on the show for December 10th for a little while. So that should be a big show. We'll try not to do just reminiscing the whole show, though. I think I've covered everything. Just remember, use our Amazon link anytime you're going to buy something from Amazon. And as you go to leave here, down below us, there's a Facebook like and those kind of things. Just click on those things. I've remade this page, and every time I do it, the counters start all over again. So it looks like we hardly have any likes on this page. And I wish I wouldn't have done that, because it was much higher than this. But it is what it is. Anyway, Tim, anything before we close?
Okay. No, I have nothing tonight.
Okay. Well, then until next week, keep it raw. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night.